So I realized that maybe my greatest obstacle for change in my life wasn't so much how I was going to get from point A to point B. I had this really clear vision of where I was and then where I wanted to go. But it was this understanding of how fast I could get there, because make these big goals and set off really fast, kind of for a beeline to that end goal. And inevitably, you probably guessed that, I'd burn out somewhere around there, right? Maybe here. Maybe the day after I started all these huge goals. Just not having that understanding again of how the law of the harvest applies to my own life, to my own marriage, to my relationship with my children. And it could be a frustrating thing to wake up the next day and have to work hard again, to have to pull weeds again, or to remember, oh, I need to water that soil again. And if I'm so focused on getting to where I want to be as fast as I possibly can, then I lose out on the meaning and the power of the middle, right? We focus a lot sometimes on before and the after, but we can forget about the middle, or we can become frustrated with the middle. And that is one of the most beautiful things I think about the law of the harvest, because it takes those two components of doing small, consistent tasks, right? Watering and weeding and tending to those plants day in and day out, that gets us to this beautiful goal. But we have to do those little things over time. And I want us to kind of forget about this whole before and after, right? I mean, don't forget about it. Let's just reframe the way we think about it. So instead of before, maybe we could name this yesterday. Yesterday is important, right? If we have an understanding of yesterday, we have an understanding of where we've been and kind of where we are, then we have, like we talked about, we have this understanding of where we want to go. If we change this to tomorrow, right, this is like our future, where we want to be, where we want to go, where we want to end up. And the middle could be today. And I think we know that the most important of all those three places is the middle. If we forget this importance of this middle, if we forget that it's the small, little things that we do over time, and if we put this pressure on ourselves to be perfect today or perfect yesterday, then we're not going to be able to achieve the goals we want. We have to trust that what is happening in the middle, the growing that is so hard to see because it's so incremental, we have to trust that it's happening. We have to trust that every time we exercise, or every time we sit down and have family home meeting with our kids, or every time we have a family meal together, or every time we choose patience over frustration, or every time we sit down at our scriptures, each one of those things is like watering those plants, and it matters. It's so important. It gives power to our present, and it gives life to our goals, and it is what will literally take us to this vision of where we want to be and what Heavenly Father wants for us. And once we realize that the time is not an obstacle, that the time is a gift, that it opens up possibilities for us. From the conference Ensign, from this last conference in April 2016, there's a talk from President Uchtdorf, and he talks about saving marriages and saving families. And I would encourage you to read it and to study it. And so he says, all of this that we're talking about, where we want to be, all this won't just happen in an instant. Great marriages, or lives, or families, are built brick by brick, day after day, over a lifetime. And this is my favorite part. And that is good news. It's not an obstacle. It's not a frustration. It's good news. And here's why. Because no matter how flat your relationship may be at the present, no matter where you are, that we found out, no matter where that place is, if you keep adding pebbles of kindness, compassion, listening, sacrifice, understanding, and selflessness, or pebbles of healthier eating, or more movement, or exercising, or patience with your kids, if you keep adding those consistent pebbles, a mighty pyramid will begin to grow. If it appears to take forever, Remember, happy marriages and families and lives are meant to last forever. So be not weary in well-doing, for ye are laying the foundation of a great marriage, he says, or life, or family. And out of small things proceedeth that which is great. It may be a gradual work, but it doesn't have to be a cheerless one. So he says, so be happy. Be happy. This to me is a message of power and excitement, and it thrills me. So I challenge you today to look up these scriptures, and we'll post these online underneath the video. Look up these scriptures, or look maybe a couple of them, or all of them, or dig deeper and look up your own. But look at what the Lord has to say about how things grow, and about how things take time, and how great things come from small things. And I encourage you maybe to even take one of these scriptures and ponderize it, or write it on a piece of paper and put it on your fridge, or on your phone, or somewhere where you can see it often, so you can remind yourself that what you do today matters. And though it may seem small, that if you can remember to be consistent and do it over time, it's going to get you where you want to be. And the Heavenly Father has told us that, and this is the way he works. And we will see his hand in our life more if we can remember what it looks like, if we can look for it in the right way. So that's our challenge for today. Study these scriptures, write some notes to yourself of how you can apply them as we move forward into our concrete goals. And we'll see you tomorrow.
We're Family Tough.